Hey, what's up, y'all? Back again, video number 19. Today's video is very similar to yesterday's topic, and it's called the mysticism of light and color and optics, optical phenomena. What is it about light? Let there be light. Fiat lux in Latin, let there be light. That's the very beginning of everything. What does that mean? Light is what we call electromagnetic frequency, right? So that in itself, it's so ill-defined in science terms. But I just mean okay, we know about photons and all their properties, right? And if you pass photons through a diffraction grating or a prism, it splits the wavelengths of light into a spectrum like a rainbow. Rainbow has always been a spiritual symbol of perfection. In Tibetan theory, if you do your duties and everything, or if you just got the mojo, you get the body of rainbows at death. And this body is indestructible and beyond time. But it's represented generally as rainbows, irregular, strange types of rainbows, square rainbows, different things can manifest. But often it's spherical rainbows. So that's actually a pretty common phenomenon. Any particle that will be translucent, any small particle of any liquid or vapor even, will basically create a rainbow. And that's how rainbows happen, but in that case it's a relatively large water droplet, right? But it could be a superfine mist, right? That's almost invisible. And it could be almost all other liquids, as long as they're transparent, will refract light. Anyways, so the point is light can be spread out in this way. And all the religions have discussed it, right? There's all kinds of things I could say about it. Even, the Rainbow Bridge, I think, was a Chumash thing right here on this land where I'm standing right now. The Rainbow Bridge was, I think, 22 miles north of here at Point Conception or something like that. But all these western-facing stretches were... Point Conception was the main jumping off point, but it was a general thing about this area. They considered it a gateway across the Rainbow Bridge to the islands, which I find very interesting. But anyways, interestingly, this is the same terminology that the Tibetans use, and they describe the Vajra Bridge, right? And it's a transition between these two worlds, right? And Tibetans have the bardo, what they call the bardo, right? There's 6 bardos of existence, and the death is one of them, right? It's a transition phase, and the word bardo means almost like an island. It's kind of like a stopover, And so you just ride the rainbow bridge between these different manifestations of our consciousness, and each one is transitional, you know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. It's all impermanent. But we cling to this life for some reason, and this body, even though it's always in decay, unless you're doing a super good job. Even then, it's in a slow decay. But the point is, we cling to it, and even though we can attain relatively indestructible forms of existence, and often do, our energy body and our psychic body has been well attested to with many varieties of scientific experimentation. I would say the magnetic field around the human body is pretty easy to detect. It doesn't take so much, But there's other types of phenomenon as well. But let's just say there's an interconnection between light and all our cells. Okay, take DNA, for example. Every time a cell divides, it's dividing and replicating its DNA. So when this starts to happen on a large scale, say there's a certain tissue that's growing and all these cells are dividing, each cell is emitting this frequency of ultraviolet light. And actually also, if you take that light spectrum and shine it on cells, they'll start to multiply in that way, or they'll increase their multiplication. You know what I mean? So it's things like that. Optical cellular communication. With the new bioinformatics technology that's coming out, they have all kinds of crazy optical equipment that can look inside the body and see smaller scale structures, and it's revolutionizing the whole science, all cellular biology, and they're just learning things. And I mean, I think similar things are going on in soil biology with looking at trees and how trees and plants communicate. But I mean, the whole system and the science of bioinformatics and these new observational techniques are going to reveal the interconnection between light and human biology, how our bodies work, how how our cells communicate, and how there's all kinds of things like infrared light, for example. I mean, infrared therapy is catching on really big right now, and it helps cellular repair, athletic recovery. Like, I could just go on and on. All it is light, man. You know what I mean? And like, why is this not taught? This is 100-year-old technology we could have been using this entire time, you know, for people to heal people, regenerate muscle tissue, broken bones. Like, why is this not happening? And that's not an isolated example, right? If I could never exhaust all these list of things that I want to say, but the point is, optical medicine is a thing, and it's been known for a very long time. I mean, now they have optical acupuncture, so they take these little tiny fiber optics thinner than a human hair, and they can put it precisely into your body at any point and use different light frequencies. I mean, they can kill microbes, regenerate tissue. I think it's promising even for cancer and stuff, but that's just my opinion, man. Anyways, I've experimented with a variety of these technologies as well. But the point is, I mean, we need light. All matter requires an exchange of photonic energy and electromagnetic energy to sustain itself. And so this is what gives us the phenomenon of atomic orbitals in terms of the science of chemistry. I mean, I could go on and on. Okay, look at the planets and the similarity between the planets and the orbitals in an atom. That's something I knew about when I was a tiny ass little kid, and I used to tell people about that, and they would trip out. And I'd be like, dude, it's a holographic universe, bitch. It is. But as above, so below. As within, so without. I mean, this is long known. This is not surprising new shit. People have known about all this for thousands of years. I mean, look at the cells of a plant, and then look at the cells of a human being, and then look at the solar system. You know what I mean? All kinds of things take this shape. It's called a mandala. Okay, cell is a mandala. Nucleus is at the center, and the membrane is the periphery, right? It's a mandala. It's a dot and a circle. Every culture in the world has used this. Tibetans, Native Americans, Western Hermeticists, all these religions have this circle model with the dot in the middle. It's a sign for the sun in modern astrology now, but some say that's the actual sign of the Illuminati. It's not the eye in the pyramid. It's a circumpunct, a point with a circle. Anyway, it represents the yin and yang, the primal male and female, Shiva, Shakti. I mean, I could go 100 million different variations of all that. But we're talking about light. Okay, photons. So photons act as a particle in a wave. That's the particle is the dot, circle is the wave. Because, like I said, it cycles up and down, right? It has if you took the long form of any wave and compressed it down, it would look like a circle. Or an ellipse, at least. But anyways, the point is, light is a wave. Light is a particle. But these phenomena that we see with light in terms of the spectrum is a gradation of the frequencies of color that we perceive with our eyes, right? That same periodistic phenomenon. I mean, look at music. Okay, did you know light and sound are 72 octaves apart? If you took the frequency of an audible sound, like C, like the note C, and went up 72 octaves approximately, you're going to hit red light. Pretty interesting, right? I think so. And this has long been known. And it's also long been known that the planets and stars all emit frequencies, radio frequency. I mean, Jupiter is like a huge radio transmitter. Unfucking believable, man. And I mean, this is what nobody understands. They don't understand optics and electromagnetics and how they relate and how everything in our universe is tied together through that phenomena. And this is long known. This is ancient mystical shit that's in paintings from fucking thousands of years ago, man. I can't even explain it all to you. But okay, take for what I just said. The mandala, you know, the medicine wheel of the Native Americans, you know. It's all the same. It's all been used everywhere in the world And that's the basis of all these different religions. And they all worship light in different ways, right? And so we're beings of frequency. That's a cliche that all kinds of people have been saying, but think about it though, more. Like, think about how, if we're beings of frequency and our whole body and all our cells and our brain waves and everything runs on frequency, what does it do to carry around, you know, millihertz, megahertz, you know, like these little fucking wave transmitters everywhere, 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 right next to your junk most of the time. And like chemically neutering yourself with the radiation so that your sperm count drops and the motility of the sperm drops and you become sterile cucklord, trisexual robot clone who is completely detached from human reproduction and normal biology of trees and leaves and birds and fish. That's bad. I don't think it's good. How is humanity going to survive independent of all the full matrix of life that we have depended on for millions of uncountable eons, dude? Now everyone's trying to live in a stack and pack with their little computer and their Wi-Fi. That's living hell. There's nothing worse than that ever. It's terrible. It's terrible. You're cut off from everything. That gives you life and makes you vibrant and alive and heals you and makes you happy. And I mean, look at the beauty of it all. Look, you can't even, if you were to go microscopically examine any piece of this, it's unbelievable. The structure, the order, the function, the diversity, the aroma, the scent, the smell, the taste, the medicinal power of the eucalyptus tree. You have no idea. This whole plant, from the roots to the tip of the leaf, is medicine, dude. It's medicine and healing power and wisdom of fucking centuries that you can't even comprehend. But yet that's all completely disdained and burned and hacked and clear cut and fucking for nothing, for no reason at all. Because humans are mentally fucking ill. They're retarded and mentally ill right now. They're completely detached from the natural matrix of life. Look at who's ruling us. Look at who's ruling the planet, dude. It's these decrepit ass crack addict fucking people. They're the worst of the worst. They are. Everyone knows this. Like, it's not even unknown. This is not a controversial hypothesis. Everybody knows what I'm saying is true. But nobody does anything. You know what I mean? Or you maybe go loot some Nikes or something like that, or burn shit down, or like knock a statue over or something like that. But what does that actually do? Like, how does that address the problem? Humans have been dumbed down to herd animals, dude. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not. It's sad. It's a terrible fucking tragedy right now. And everybody's participating in it and encouraging each other to dumb it down even further and let a fucking computer turn on the thermostat in their lights in their house and tell them what TV channel and talk to their facial recognition, voice recognition, cortical how is this normal or fun? It's not even beautiful. It's insane. It's gross and ugly, and it smells bad. It smells like ozone and fucking carbon, and doesn't smell good. It smells like death. But like, look at it. Have you ever smelled just a pile of these eucalyptus leaves? Just lay in it and smell it. It's the most beautiful fucking perfume. Laurel tree is very nice as well, as far as that aroma. But this is what nature is, man. This is how it works. It's an infinite life force machine. It's self-replicating. It never goes away. It survives and it thrives, and it interconnects with the inconceivable matrix of life and minerals in the soil, gases in the air. And guess what keeps the tree alive? Light, photons, baby. Photosynthesis. You understand? There's a tiny crystal in all these leaves. This is an oak tree too. There's a tiny little oak right there. Pretty sick, huh? But anyways, all those, the chlorophyll, it's a magnesium-based crystal that's inside all those leaves. And it uses light, uses photons to create electrons and other energetic phenomena to drive the life force of this tree around. And so humans are just the same. We need light. We need light to live. We need both metaphorical light and physical real light. And maybe we are made of light, because if you think about it, we have our nervous signals that give us all our senses and give us our feelings and sensations. That's electromagnetism. It's electricity, and it's a form of light. It's a plasma. You know, it's a low energy plasma, just like fire. So it's all right there for you. The life force is there. It's everywhere. Don't run from it.